Live from the WCTV studios, this is Eyewitness News at noon. Coverage you can count on.
A manhunt now underway for the man wanted in connection with the slaying of his pregnant ex-girlfriend and for the shooting death of an Orlando police officer. Orlando police say 41-year-old Markeith Lloyd shot and killed an officer outside a store.
Happened around 7:15 this morning at an Orlando Walmart. Lloyd was spotted fleeing in a vehicle from Walmart. That's where Master Sergeant Deborah Clayton was shot.
Well, Clayton was shot, as we said, and was taken to the hospital where she later died.
Deputies say that Lloyd then carjacked the vehicle and took off. A deputy was hit and killed in a traffic accident while searching for Lloyd. The sheriff's office says the deputy was riding a motorcycle. Lloyd later abandoned the vehicle, which started the manhunt. Authorities say Lloyd should be considered armed and dangerous. We're learning new details this afternoon after a Sunday night homicide. The victim has been identified in Tallahassee as 40-year-old Mary Gray.
Tallahassee police say it happened around 10:50 last night at a complex on Holton Street. Officers responded to a call about a traffic crash. When they arrived, they found one person inside a vehicle suffering from a gunshot wound. The person was taken to the hospital and later died. Police say they are investigating the incident as a homicide.
Cairo police are searching for a murder suspect. They say 21-year-old Nicholas Perry is wanted in connection with the murder of 25-year-old Elijah Smith. Smith's body was found early Saturday morning, and investigators had not released the cause of death. Authorities are asking anyone who has information to call Cairo police.
Officials are awaiting toxicology reports for a couple found dead near Daytona Beach. Daniel and Heather Kelsey were traveling from Quincy on New Year's Eve. They were later found dead in their car. Their 3 young boys were found in the back seat watching a movie. Investigators say there was no sign of trauma or foul play. Daniel Kelsey did test positive for drugs. The boys are now in the care of relatives.
Family and friends are planning to honor Kendrick Johnson tomorrow. Tuesday marks 4 years since KJ was found dead at Lowndes High School. Family and friends gathered this past weekend for a peace walk and remembrance gala. His family is planning a balloon release tomorrow around noon at Sunset Cemetery in Valdosta. Esteban Santiago, the accused gunman in Fort Lauderdale's airport shooting, appeared in court this morning. 26-year-old Esteban Santiago reportedly opened fire at the airport Friday afternoon, shooting and killing 5 people. 6 others were injured.
This incident at the Fort Lauderdale airport now raising questions about guns and luggage and safety. Lawmakers now taking a new look at baggage rules. Tony DeCopel has more.
There are shots fired in this building.
Part of the surprise of Friday's shooting is the fact the gunman arrived on an incoming flight, and so did his gun. Last year, the TSA reported confiscating more than 3,300 firearms from carry-on bags. But the agency allows guns in checked luggage. They have to be unloaded and locked in a hard-sided container, and owners have to declare them at the ticket counter.
We're going to have to take a hard look once and for all at the unsecured areas of our airports.
Florida Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz says she plans to review security procedures with TSA leaders. A TSA agent died in a shooting in 2013 outside a security checkpoint at Los Angeles International Airport. The rules regarding guns in airports vary by city and state. The National Council of State Legislatures has identified 6 states, including Florida, which ban people from carrying guns in all areas of airports.
The law is only protecting criminals. It's not protecting law-abiding citizens who want the right and the ability to defend themselves.
Greg Steube, a Florida state senator, introduced a bill to allow owners with permits to openly carry guns in areas like the place where Friday's shooting occurred. He suggests the 45-second attack could have ended even sooner if other passengers were armed.
I mean, that's a ludicrous suggestion. If someone with a gun in the baggage claim area opened fire in the midst of hundreds of people, the life loss probably would have been worse.
And tonight on Eyewitness News at 5:30, we'll take a look at how a 2013 Florida law could have prevented police from giving a gun back to someone suffering from mental illness like Santiago. A scary scene this morning just outside of Atlanta as an unoccupied building goes up in flames in Stone Mountain. You can see those flames there. They were shooting out of the roof when fire crews arrived. It is still unknown what sparked that blaze. Officials say while the building did not have any official tenants, they are still investigating if anyone was in the building at the time of the fire.
All right, strange story here. Things got intense in Maryland. Police say that a standoff lasting hours apparently sparked by a fight over a grilled cheese sandwich. Officers were called to a house for a domestic dispute. Witnesses saying an enraged man inside was firing shots. They told officer he had just made a grilled cheese sandwich and someone had taken a bite.
Must have been a good sandwich. My goodness. All right, in other news, a plane carrying the Dallas Stars hockey team forced to make an emergency landing shortly after takeoff. It happened Sunday at the St. Louis downtown airport. They were on their way to LA after they lost a game Saturday night. About 5 minutes into the flight, the pilot made a call that smoke was filling up the cockpit and there was an electrical smell. Well, they landed safely and evacuated the plane.
Well, I'm sure anytime you have smoke on an aircraft, that's just not a normal occurrence. There was never any smoke in the cabin. The passengers were made aware that they were having to land because of smoke in the cockpit, but I'm sure they were shook up a little bit.
According to the Dallas Stars Twitter account, the team later boarded a new plane to head to Los Angeles. Joey Porter, assistant coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, now facing charges. This after an altercation at a bar last night. It happened shortly after the team's wild card win over the Miami Dolphins. Porter was taken into custody after allegedly assaulting a doorman at the bar. Officials say Porter is charged with aggravated assault, simple assault, resisting arrest, and public drunkenness.
President-elect Donald Trump now lashing out at actress Meryl Streep after her acceptance speech at last night's Golden Globes. Trump tweeting, calling her the most overrated actress in Hollywood. This after she criticized him for making this comment, mocking a disabled New York Times reporter.
And talking about northern New Jersey draws the prober's eye. Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember.
In her acceptance speech, Streep said that the most vilified segments in American society right now are Hollywood, foreigners, and the press. Trump denies the claim.
Another Trump news, his cabinet nominees will face Senate hearings this week. In addition to Exxon CEO Rex Tillerson, well, the group of nominees testifying this week includes 2 billionaires, 2 members of Congress, 2 retired generals, and a doctor turned presidential candidate. There are now concerns over unresolved ethics issues.
These are people who are billionaires and have vast holdings, vast wealth. And the American people have a right to know if they're going to be entering into those offices with conflicts of interest.
Democrats say the GOP is trying to draw attention away from some of the more controversial nominees by holding multiple hearings each day, including 5 on Wednesday. Republicans say that there are simply a limited number of days on the Senate calendar. After 15 years in the making, an Israeli tech firm is hopeful to introduce the first people-carrying drone.
A Cormorant aircraft, known as the Flying Car, is capable of transporting over 1,100 pounds. It can also travel up to 115 miles per hour. The drone completed its first automated solo flight in November, taking off and flying and landing by itself. The company plans to sell it to different militaries to work in hostile environments by 2020. It will cost $14 million.
Very futuristic looking there.
Yeah, it wants to be the first troops to hop in there and go places.
Could be interesting.
All right, coming up, remember that big jewel heist targeting Kim Kardashian? Microscopic clues lead to more than a dozen arrests.
And the Golden Globes hands out trophies and plenty of political commentary. That's coming up, but first, Rob tries to hit defrost in his forecast.
And I think it's happening. Temperatures already starting to climb out there. They're going to climb a lot more over the next couple of days. We're now into the middle and upper 40s, some spots that didn't get this warm all weekend. At 48 in Tallahassee, it's one of the warmest temperatures we've seen since Friday. It's 49 at Carabel, it's 49 at Perry, La Crosse City's at 50. We are going to continue to climb into the afternoon hours, and I think much milder on the way for later this week. We'll have the breakdown in just a bit.